Okay, greetings and peace, everyone. Welcome to the Committed Relationships and Spiritual Activity YouTube channel. I truly appreciate you listening to this audio and all of my previous audios. And if you have not checked out any of my previous videos, do that whenever you get the time, preferably after this video. And I also have a podcast that's dedicated to spiritual, committed relationships, personal development, and spiritual activity, which is overall spirituality. I don't want to say, in a way, when I think of spiritual activity, I think it reminds me of like those shows where they talk about ghosts, and you hear that type of sound effect, that woo. So I don't know if I want to say spiritual activity. I probably should just say spirituality. But anyways, it's mostly dedicated to relationships because I have a lot of knowledge to share with people regarding relationships and personal development in general. I am your host, Neo, and that is spelled Neo. And I have some brief information I want to share with you guys here about dating versus long-term relationships. This has been going on for many, many years, and I have just recently identified this for the past few months. And this has intentionally been going on for years throughout world societies. What has been going on for years is what world societies want is they want to dilute people's consciousness overall in general, keeping them on a low, mundane, animalistic level so that they don't understand true unity. They don't understand their own inner spirituality, especially. That is the main goal of world governments, is to keep people looking outside of themselves, to prevent them from going within to identify their true divine spiritual self. That is the main goal. That's why you have all of these movies, the TV shows, the music videos. You have music that's always speaking about something and or someone outside of themselves to obtain. And even with external love, oh, I want to be loved, and you always see the main character of a movie or a TV show seeking love, seeking to be in a relationship. And I speak more about this in my other video titled The Love Trap. So go check that out. So the true divine inner love is a oneness with self and a oneness with your true higher self and oneness with the all, or God, whatever you want to say it, or source. That is true divine unconditional love. Once I myself have experienced that twice, 2 times, I've had my own experience and also been able to analyze it. It is a huge, big bundle of love energy that very few people are capable of really sitting there and immersing themselves in long enough without crying. For me, the first 2 times that I experienced it, I couldn't help myself but cry. It was an overwhelming energy, and it felt good. It wasn't a bad energy, but it felt good, and it was amazing. After I felt that for the second time, I realized, like, look, there's no need for me to look for love outside of myself, especially from humans, especially modern day humans who have their minds warped in so many different ways. And this is not being disrespectful to people, because I know what's going on, and I used to be in zombie mode myself, but that was one awakening that I have experienced. So I stopped looking for acceptance and love from my parents, especially because they are still psychologically children. Go look at and listen to my video, Grown Up Children, that explains that. So you have nowadays, especially here all on YouTube, you got these people that's always sharing dating tips. It's dating this, dating that, how to get a girl, how to get a boy. And also speaking of that, they keep people on a low childlike level, that even with the words, there's men still calling women girls, and there's still women calling men boys, which psychologically that does make sense, because there's a lot of people who still have not grown to mature adults. Just think about how many men do that. Listen to these YouTube channels where they talk about girls and boys. They rarely use the term women and men. Check that out. So with me, I see a lot of these videos, they're always talking about dating. It's very few of them that actually talk about long-term, meaningful relationships. And then you have these guys that are so-called supposed to be the dating gurus, the dating gurus. So it's like, if you are a female that's actually looking for a long-term relationship, then you definitely do not want to be around these guys that are so well versed in dating, because the majority of them that's so well versed in dating, they do not know much about forming long-term meaningful relationships, because they're so obsessed and their mind is so programmed regarding the dating game that they have not wired their mind for long-term meaningful relationships. That's one thing a person has to keep in mind about how this society is wired. It's wired to get people to focus only on short-term shortcuts. It's shortcuts. So I tell people that people's minds are wired to sign a short-term relationship contract rather than a long-term five-year contract. 5-year contract or a longer contract. It's not wired to do that. So really nowadays, you really shouldn't expect a long-term relationship from most people, because of the society, unless they did their personal development work, and they have, especially if they have awakened spiritually in one way or another. Because there are a few group of people that have done their personal development work. They have rewired their mind to have natural, meaningful relationships. There are some. However, on average, most people's minds have been watered down to perceive relationships as like 6 months to 12 months, sometimes up to maybe 3 years. And then after they get a baby, some of them, they flat out, they chicken out, they quit, they resign in one way or another. So it's really, really messed up with a lot of people's minds. It's so diluted. That's why I'm here explaining to people that you have to focus on your personal development work first. That is my main message to people before they want to go off to a higher spiritual evolutionary level, before they go off to be rich, before they go off to be a wealthy celebrity, before they go off to try to seek out a long-term relationship. You have to focus on your personal development work. That is the purpose of this channel overall and my personal development website. So you got to get down and dirty to the nitty-gritty stuff first, the roots, and that starts with your mind, understanding your ego, understanding your emotions, and understanding your true divine spiritual self. So if you would like to know more about this information, go ahead, subscribe, click the subscribe button and the bell button next to it to stay updated with my videos that I share here. And I promise that they will be much more shorter for the YouTube community, because I realize that the YouTube community are filled with people who have very short attention spans. And then I'll just go into more detail on my podcast, which those are usually 30 minutes or longer. And I go into more detail with a lot of other stuff. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to just separate the two. And then here on YouTube, I'll just speak briefly on certain topics. just to get people's attention. Boom. Then if they want more information, I'll go ahead and direct you guys to my podcast, which I recommend that you go ahead and check that out right now after this video and after you subscribe. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. Okay, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, go ahead and email me at committedrelationships@gmail.com. Thank you very much for listening, and until next time.